January 17, 1991. The world witnesses the dawn of a new kind of warfare. In a matter of hours, the skies over Iraq are lit up by thousands of precision-guided bombs. This was the beginning of Operation Desert Storm, a war that would last only 42 days but reshape global military strategy forever. But how did we get here? To understand Desert Storm, we must go back to August 2, 1990. Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein orders his army to invade Kuwait, a small but wealthy oil-rich nation. The world reacts with shock. The United Nations demands Iraq withdraw, but Hussein refuses. The US and a coalition of 34 nations prepare for war. On November 29, 1990, the UN gives Iraq a deadline. Leave Kuwait by January 15, 1991, or face military action. Midnight, January 17, 1991. The deadline has passed. In response, the coalition launches a massive aerial assault, one of the most sophisticated bombing campaigns in history. The operation begins with precision strikes against Iraq's air defenses, communications, and command centers. For the first time in warfare, stealth bombers are used, slipping past Iraq's radar to destroy key targets in Baghdad. Over the next 5 weeks, more than 100,000 air sorties drop nearly 90,000 tons of bombs on Iraq's military infrastructure. The world watches in real time as Baghdad is bombed. This was the first war broadcast live on television, bringing the realities of conflict into homes worldwide. While the air war devastated Iraq's defenses, a ground invasion was still necessary. On February 24, 1991, the coalition launches a massive land assault. U.S. General Norman Schwarzkopf orchestrates a bold maneuver, a massive flanking attack through the desert, outflanking Iraqi forces. This surprise move, known as the left hook, leads to a rapid collapse of the Iraqi army. Within just 100 hours, the coalition forces overwhelm Iraq's military. More than 100,000 Iraqi soldiers surrender, while the Republican Guard, Saddam's elite force, is decimated. As Iraqi forces retreat from Kuwait, coalition forces target a convoy of fleeing soldiers on Highway 80, later known as the Highway of Death. Hundreds of vehicles are destroyed, marking one of the most controversial moments of the war. Some see it as a necessary military action. Others argue it was excessive force. But by February 28, 1991, the war is over. Kuwait is liberated and a ceasefire is declared. Desert Storm was a decisive victory for the coalition. But was it the end of the conflict? Not quite. Saddam Hussein remains in power. UN sanctions cripple Iraq's economy. Years later, in 2003, the US would return to Iraq in a full-scale invasion, leading to Hussein's capture and execution. Some call Desert Storm the last clean war. Others see it as the beginning of decades of US involvement in the Middle East. Either way, it was a war that demonstrated the power of modern military technology and coalition warfare. Operation Desert Storm lasted just over a month, but its impact is still felt today. What do you think? Was this a necessary intervention, or did it lead to unintended consequences? Let us know in the comments.